What's up, YouTube? So before we get started with this video, on First Take, they're going to be talking about what would it mean if LeBron James was able to win his fourth ring with the Lakers. So let's see what they have to say about that.
So LeBron appears to be ready to go with the season starting back on Thursday. He's looking to make history once again as he seeks his 10th finals appearance. The only players to accomplish that feat are Bill Russell, Sam Jones, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Paul, what would a fourth title mean for LeBron's legacy?
If LeBron James wins his fourth title with 3 different franchises, I will put LeBron James back in my top 5 all-time NBA players.
Okay, so what would that mean if Kawhi Leonard wins his third ring with 3 different teams? Is it going to make your list too?
He'll be one of the few who's ever won a championship and been the guy. He will be MVP if they win for 3 different franchises. He will be back in my top 5.
Okay, so like I said before, does Kawhi Leonard make your top 5? Because if he wins one with the Spurs, he won with the Toronto Raptors, and if he wins one with the LA Clippers, that should definitely go in your top 3. I know he hasn't been to the finals as many times as LeBron James, but he's never lost. And this is his 3rd team, and he's younger than LeBron James. So let's continue.
Sure, he'll be excited to hear that. What do you say?
Call.
What do you say, Jalen?
Way to go out on a limb, Paul. For LeBron James in your top 5. Congratulations.
Hey, listen, hold on, though. But listen, Charles Barkley and Kenny Smith said they didn't have him in his top 5, and I didn't hear all the noise. But when I say it, he hate LeBron, he don't like him, it's personal. See, that's what I don't get. Come on.
To your point, I know Kenny Smith actually didn't even have Kobe in his top 10. So as much as I love Kenny, I don't know how the
Yeah, there's definitely something wrong with Kenny Smith to not have Kobe in your top 10. That's ridiculous.
lists are working out for him.
Well, I'll say this. I'm one of the people that was kind of holding on to that last spot for Magic Johnson, and I understand why people are fighting me for that 5th spot. But let me tell you what this 4th title would mean for LeBron. That all of the people that never saw Michael Jordan play will be validated in their mind that LeBron is the greatest player to ever do it. That's what's...
No, that's not what that means. That's not that at all. It's not necessarily how many rings he wins if he wins a 4th one. It's about how many he's lost. Jordan never lost in the finals. LeBron James is 3-6. So you can never erase that 6. That's what the problem majority is. So let's continue.
Going to happen if he wins in that purple and gold historic franchise during a bubble as a pandemic is happening while we're forced to watch, just like all fans were forced to watch The Last Dance and MJ get his 6. Oh man, these millennials gonna be unbearable if LeBron gets 4. They're gonna act like that's greater than 6.
Yeah, that's what the problem is. I mean, like I said, it's not necessarily him winning 4, but it's a 6 that he lost. And, you know, Jordan's got 6, never lost. Kobe's got 5. Magic Johnson has 5. You have all these players have more rings than LeBron James, although he is moving up if he makes it this year. But I have a feeling Kawhi's probably going to mess things up for him. You know, what about those other players? I have Kobe above LeBron James all day, every day. If I had to take a last shot with somebody, and it was a life or death for me, and it was between Kobe or LeBron James, I'm going with Kobe all day. Kobe all day. So let's continue.
That's me, J. Rose.
No, Jay.
That's me, J. Rose. Look, so I've already been on the record that I say that LeBron James is the greatest player of all time, all-around player. I think Michael Jordan...
You can't be the best player of all time. You can't be anywhere near that if you're 3-6. You just can't. Especially if you got beat by a team twice. You can't be the best. That's not how it works.
Is the greatest winner of all time. But I will say this, you know, when this whole thing kicked off, George, you had a lot of people out there who were hating on how we would finish the season. They would say, oh, there's an asterisk if, you know, we finish the season, whoever wins the championship. Now, I hear what they're saying, but they were saying it with a negative connotation. I would say this. I would pose the opposite argument. There's an asterisk because this will be the hardest NBA championship to ever win. Now, I don't usually talk in extremes.
How would this be the hardest championship to win when there's so many games that weren't played? Some of those games are the key factor of why some teams make it, why some teams don't, because guys have injuries, things pop up, and those are those games that they miss playing with some of the determining factors of who does what in the playoffs and goes where. Since you don't have those games and they've been on for 3 to 4 months, everybody's well rested. So it's not going to be, what's so hard about that? You're coming off a 3-month rest, 3-month leave of absence or whatever, and then you start playing only 8 more games? Yeah, that's not going to be the hardest season ever to win a championship. It might be the weirdest, but not the hardest.
Paul and Jay Rose can both claim that I am a usual reasonable type of person. But leaving your family, going to a bubble in the midst of a pandemic in a hot spot in Florida, okay, and then being able to be with your team and finding a way to win in this type of scenario, I would hope if you would win that, it would do more than just put LeBron James and Paul Pierce's top 5. And maybe would inch LeBron James towards maybe being the greatest player of all time for Jay Rose, who I respect more than anybody.
Again, how can you be the best player of all time when you've lost more than you've won? By far. By far. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that you would think that. Because the person I have in my head that is the best player ever of all time, the person I have in my head, he's never lost the finals. He's been to over 10 finals. That's how special he is. The guy is an absolute killer. That's what makes him the GOAT. You can't be the GOAT if you lost more than you've won. 3-6 is ridiculous. And I don't even care if he gets to the 4th one. Those 6 losses account for a lot. So let's continue.
Because of the fact that he realizes playing against Jordan and LeBron of how special LeBron James really is. I'm trying to bring them over to my side, George. I'm trying. It's a lot of work.
Jay,
and I'm stressed.
hold on. Jay, first of all, Jay, you lost me at the start. The first thing you said was LeBron James is the greatest player and Jordan is the greatest winner. Did you forget about Bill Russell? Did you forget about the 12 championships money?
Did you forget about Kobe? Don't forget about Kobe.
After you said that, you lost me. I stopped listening. I'm gonna be honest with you. So you lost all credibility right there.
What about Kareem? Why doesn't Kareem get any love?